Hey everybody, it's me, Andy.
And I'm Sean.
And this is the Commander's Brew.
This week, Gruul Tokens.
Hey, welcome back everybody. It's the Commander's Brew, and it's episode 49.
49.
Notice how we're saying the number of the episode every time now.
Yeah, now because we have that information.
We have that info scrolling in front of us on the video. Welcome if you're watching us on YouTube, or if you're listening via iTunes or your favorite podcast subscriber. Commander's Brew, we're back again. Here we are.
Back once again. Dim it.
And you know how we do. You know how we do things. We brew in a theme.
Yep.
That could be a card. That could be a commander. That could be a guild, as it is this week. Actually, we're doing kind of a guild with strategy.
Guild with strategy, yeah. We always brew on a budget, also.
Always on a budget.
Under $50.
Under $50 US dollars.
USD.
Even though we're Canadian.
Even though we're Canadian. Right. We figure, that's just the way it is.
The majority of our listeners are US, so we tailor.
Yeah,
we understand.
Yeah. The majority of price guides are in US dollars.
Exactly, yeah.
And then we're gonna make sure no cards over $5 unless it's like a special exception.
Special exceptions, and we'll do 2 takes. Mostly they'll be pretty different. This week's episode is a bit of a first for us, where we've built 2 decks around 2 different commanders, same strategy, but the decks ended up looking pretty similar. So you can just kind of view this episode as us going super deep on Gruul Tokens, and you'll get to hear a lot more cards for this one type of deck as you than you normally would with us, which I think is actually kind of neat.
That's a neat way to look at it, yes.
Of course, we're sponsored by a great Magic website and physical brick-and-mortar store out in Ottawa, Ontario, the Wizard's Tower, and actually we have an ad for them right away.
Here we go.
So let's get into that.
Hi, I'm a citizen of Innistrad. I don't like living here because I'm always worried about werewolves, geists, vampires, zombies, now some Eldrazzis. It's the worst. But what do I do to relax and distract? Play Magic cards. I get my cards from wizardtower.com, the Wizard's Tower. If I'm in Canada, they'll give me free shipping on singles $15 or more, and in America, $10 or more for that free shipping. Not only that, they'll give me 3% kickback on my next order. What a deal! And hey, because you're listening to this podcast, I'll give you a great deal. Tower of Brews as a coupon code to get an extra 5% off that order. Oh man, playing Magic cards almost makes it worth not knowing if you're gonna get combined with your neighbor's body into a weird horror. Anyway, see you on the flip side, but not of the moon.
Wow. You know, the people in Innistrad are fairly laid back.
In general?
Yeah, the ones we've been hearing from are all super laid back and pretty okay with most of the crazy things that are happening to their plane.
You would have to be if that was what was happening on a daily basis.
There's a lot of madness going around, but you think that guy's like gone crazy and that's why he's complacent, like he's like a vegetable sort of about it?
No, I think it's just I assume it's a coping mechanism.
You think that the people that are hawking for Wizard's Tower are the ones who are of sound mind? I think that makes sense to me.
Yes.
Because we are of sound mind and we're doing that as well.
Because if you can't cope with the possibility that bad stuff's going to happen to you in Innistrad, you're not going to be able to get out of bed in the morning.
That's true.
And those people probably have already jumped into the drown yard or something.
Or melded with their neighbor into a weird horror thing.
Oh, nightmares.
Nightmares. So do you want to talk a little bit about the new stuff
Sure.
Some of the spoilers? I mean, we don't if you're a listener, we don't go super deep on these things because you can get that from a lot of different great other podcasts, your Command Zone, your Commanderin, a lot of different stuff. But we like to brush up on it a little bit. We like to mention it a tiny bit. And what are your thoughts on the Meld mechanic? I know you tweeted about this.
I don't like Meld.
You don't like Meld?
Because
you don't think it's good for EDH?
No, it's not good for EDH because you need to have both cards in the deck. They both need to come out at the same time.
Yep.
And then they both need to live long enough for its meld condition, like the end of your turn or something like that.
Yeah.
And even the meld cards that we've seen so far, they're not so awesome.
Yeah, and the fact that we've seen like the mythic and rare one combined, we've seen Brazella.
And the handwear town person.
Yeah, the handwear town person.
The handwear town
the
monster.
handwear like monster one. Yeah, they're look good, but like not anything where like you like it's a lot of setup cost, as we've a term we've learned from limited resources.
I don't want to put 2 cards in my deck to maybe get this third kind of desirable effect. I'd rather just put 2 great cards that do whatever independently.
And even the Brazella example, I think, are probably 2 of the better cards you're going to see for our format, anyways. And even then, is the Bruno one even that good?
I forget which one's which, but the little one is just a flying first strikey kind of thing.
Oh, sorry, that's what I meant for us. It's not that great.
Right?
In limited and in constructed, that one is the better one for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But then in limited, it's a problem too because like I'm not going to be able to draft a rare and a mythic and get them both.
Yeah, that's just not going to happen in limited.
And we've seen one kind of common-y meldy thing, and I just don't want to have to draft a ton of each half in the hopes that I get the other half.
Yeah. And you know what I kind of don't like? They made it even harder to do because you have to own and control. So you can't do like a threaten effect or a mind control.
Yeah.
That would be, I guess, how you might be able to pull it off in EDH a bit easier. But people are just saying, like, well, let's run a bunch of tutors. It's like, well, that...
But, like, do you want a tutor for that?
Yeah,
like,
you're not going to tutor
tutors,
for that.
Yeah, tutor for, like, your board wipes or something else.
I think the answer to this, the Brazella one, whether or not it's good in EDH, I think is like, well, you have to run one as your commander.
Yes.
And I think that's the way to get around that.
If you really think it's so awesome to prevent 3 mana cost spells from being cast,
right.
That's not like we cast big spells in Commander. That's not going to stop enough.
That doesn't do much.
What does that stop?
And by the time you get both of them to be able to do anything, like I don't know. Anyways, so we're not obviously we're not super sold on
I can't wrap
on
my
the
head
Meld
around
mechanic.
It. I also feel sad that Delirium's going to disappear.
Yeah, but then they do have they do still have some stuff that has that Goyf ability, right? So it's like it's not totally gone.
Are they going to give us more cool enchantments that sacrifice themselves or artifacts? Because if they don't support it, it's going to be really hard to get Delirium going.
And is it 2? This is a small set, right? So it's still 2.
2 packs of it.
So it's 2 packs of
right?
Moon?
Isn't that how it works? Moon.
Was that how
Shadows?
it worked with Battle for Zendikar? Yeah, it was, right? Yeah.
Because
so
you
it'll
want
be 2 moons and one shadows, right?
Anyway, I'm excited for new cards. I'm always excited for new cards.
Yep.
I'm just a little sad because I think Shadows over Interced as a draft format is nearly perfect, and I don't want it to disappear.
Great. I wonder how much you can hear the construction outside. That sounds like a dying duck. Anyways.
It's a drill.
It's a drill for sure.
Well, we've been staring at one of our commanders this
That's
whole
right.
time.
We have been. So let's get to it. Let's get to the main theme of today, the meat in the pot pie of this episode.
Meat.
We've crushed through the crust with our fork, and now it's time to get at the hearty chunks
the
of
gravy
chicken and gravy.
Chicken. I want a pot pie now.
I know, me too.
This is the one I'm building around. This is Thromok the Insatiable.
You know what's fun about this new setup we have with the video? It looks like you're looking at the card when you look over there.
Oh, it does.
That's great. I love it.
Wow.
We got to do this every time now.
So, Thromok the Insatiable. He is 3 green, red for a legendary Hellion. He starts 0/0, but let me see what he does. Okay, so he says Devour X, where X is the number of creatures devoured this way. Devour X, where X is the number of creatures, right? So this is insane. If you devour 1 creature, that is to say, devour means when he enters the battlefield, you sack 1 or more creatures to it, i.e. devour them, and it enters with some extra +1/+1 counters. Normally, cards have Devour 1 or Devour 2, which means 1 +1/+1 counter or 2 +1/+1 counters. So this guy has Devour X. So if you sack 1 creature, he gets 1 +1/+1 counter. But if you sack 2 creatures, he gets 2 times 2. It's as if he had Devour 2 for those 2 creatures.
Yeah, it's
he gets
squared.
4. It's squared.
Right.
So if you devour 5 creatures, it's as if he had Devour 5 and you devoured 5. So you get 25 +1/+1 counters. All it takes is 5 tokens, and he's within the 1-hit kill range
for commander
damage.
Yep.
And, if you do 36, 7, so all you need is 7 to get over 40. So it's like just a straight kill that way.
Did you mention that this is the guy we did on our Brew and Brawl?
Oh, I did not. This is what we did in our Brew and Brawl. So we just had our Brew and Brawl. Thanks to everyone who watched that. We had a lot of fun brewing this deck. I really had to cut a lot of budget off of it to make it budget.
Because when you brew on Magic Online, you can have stuff like Sylvan Library or something. It is, and
Concordant Crossroads.
For under a ticket each or so.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Throwmock. Big Gruul commander. You don't see a lot of him because he was from the Plane Chase set.
I don't know why though. He's awesome.
He's so good. But this next one we do see a little bit more of, and that's the guy that I decided to go with, and that's Uloshed, the Hate Seed. Uloshed is from Guild Pact. He's just a rare, so he's a 2 red and a green for a legendary Hydra. And it says, Ulash the Hate Seed comes into play with a +1/+1 counter on it for each other red creature you control, and a +1/+1 counter on it for each other green creature you control. And then he has pay 1 generic, remove a +1/+1 counter from Ulashed, choose 1. Ulash deals 1 damage to target creature, or put a 1/1 green Saproling creature token into play. So many of you who have listened to the Phil DeLuca episode during guest month might recognize these abilities because these are very similar abilities to Mareth, Will of the Wild, which is the Naya commander. And so those last 2 abilities specifically, being able to remove counters and doing pinging for damage or making to other tokens is, it's a very cool ability. Very, very useful. Makes Ulash like a little bit of a... It can control, it can take out creatures if you need, or it can make even more tokens if you want. It's kind of funny because he kind of doubles up. Or Ulash can be that big beater, not unlike Throwmock, where you drop an Ulash and you have, 15 or 10 or 15 tokens, and now you've got a really big kind of suited up commander ready to swing for some big damage. So a lot of different ways you can take this, and it's like in-game strategy, your strategy will change, right?
Yeah.
So if you build the deck accordingly, you can have it be very flexible like that, which is, I love commanders like that. Mareth is one of my favorite commanders, and Ulash has those abilities. So originally I thought let's go with a lot of green and red tokens creatures, like a lot of creatures that do that, but turns out there's not that many things that make green and red creatures. So we kind of just bailed on that one hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, we Ulash was a lot of fun to build. So let's see what do we do? What is the overall game plan of these decks? They are very similar. We mentioned that.
Yeah. So for Throwmock, we're gonna drop him as a huge dude. So we want to get some haste effects going. We want to get some trample effects going. We want to get 5 or more creature tokens out. That's it. Or even just creatures. Like I'll sack a regular creature, and then we just cast Throwmock. Hopefully he's got haste and trample, and we'll just kill someone right there, and we'll just get the kill chain rolling.
Get the kill chain rolling. Just a fast, aggressive beater.
Someone's going to surprise die.
Yeah, for sure. Almost always, right, with this?
Yeah.
They really have to be aware that Throwmock can just drop and attack, right?
Yeah.
Ulash is a pretty classic token strategy that can switch into different modes, like I was saying. So you do want to build up your board of tokens early, just like with Throwmock, except we don't stop at 5. I mean, I guess Throwmock doesn't really stop at 5 either, but we need more than 5. And then it can come out and we can kill some of the bigger creatures if we need, or just get a trample enabler like you have, or just make even more tokens and overrun. So, like I said, very flexible, a lot of different ways you can take, and we built it to be flexible like that. So, Sean, what about... what are we looking at here for the first category for Throwmock?
Okay, let's get some great token makers. I'm looking for token makers that are pretty cheap, hopefully ones that can just get a lot of tokens out there. Let's talk about Dragon Lair Spider. Not to be confused with the video game Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair Spider.
Yeah, different guy.
Yeah, that one different.
It's cost 6, 2, red, green. Spider, 5/6. Huge spider already. Reach. That's just amazing right there. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a 1/1 green insect creature token onto the battlefield. Whenever an opponent casts a spell. So you drop this guy 1 or 2 trips around the board. Like, I bet you by the time it comes back to you, if no one casts a Wrath as one of those spells, you'll probably have 4 or 5 tokens, including this guy, and Throwmock's ready to go.
Yeah, that's right. One round around the table puts Dragon Lair Spider in pretty good range there.
Probably. Next, we've got Chancellor of the Forge. This guy doesn't do work off turn, but he is just a huge beater. 4, red, for a 5/5 creature giant. He has that weird ability where at the beginning of the game, if he's in your opening hand after you've declared mulligans and all that stuff, you can reveal him and put a 1/1 red goblin token creature with haste onto the battlefield. So you get to start with 1 bonus token if that happens.
Not bad.
But if you cast him normally, he basically enters with X red goblins with haste, where X is the number of creatures you control. We probably control a lot of creatures, so he's going to be joined with a bunch of buddies. And they all have haste too. So like this might be a kill anyway, right? Like you can just be like,
huge.
"Oh, I've already got 20 tokens out, so maybe I'll just make another 20 and then haste in and just do some damage."
I always forget about the haste that he like their goblin tokens with haste.
I forgot that too because that's rare among goblin tokens.
That is very rare, yeah.
And then let's talk about Second Harvest. This is an instant. 2, green. This is from Shadows over Innistrad. My favorite set right now. For each token you control, put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of that permanent. Right? So this is great. It's an instant. So if I'm not quite at 5 tokens, let's say I've got 4 tokens, and I'm like, I don't want to do Throw Mock yet. I'll just cast this at the end of my player to my right's turn, and then I'll be up to 8, and no problem. Now I can Throw Mock in.
Of course, it should be noted that this can be a token maker, a great one, or it cannot be.
That's true. This could make 0 tokens.
Yeah. And there's a lot of those cards floating around in Magic's history, and they're as good as your board is, basically, right?
Yes.
So, Second Harvest, though, excited to have a card like this, and at instant speed, too.
Instant speed.
So good. Okay, so let's take a look at what we did with Ulash. It's going to be, like you said, it's going to be a lot of the same things. But for Ulash, I decided to focus on specific kinds of tokens so that we can get some additional synergies. So we got green and red tokens. So I went with goblins and sapperlings, probably the 2 most prolific of those colors. So first we got Artifact Mutation here. This is an instant, and it's from Invasion. It's a red and a green, and it says destroy target artifact. It can't be regenerated. Put X 1/1 green sapperling creature tokens into play, where X is that artifact's converted mana cost. Not bad.
This is not bad at all.
You need to kill artifacts in Commander, and why not grab a few tokens while you're at it?
Might as well.
This is good because it can be played early. You don't care if you just blow. I mean, obviously it's good to blow up a Soul Ring. It's good to blow up a Signet. Even if you only get the 2 Sapperlings, it's just a nice bonus. You're looking good there because all we want our tokens pretty early. Because Ulash only costs 4 to cast, and Throwmock only costs 5.
Yeah.
So these are commanders you can get, pretty easily.
These are affordable commanders.
Yeah.
You can get them just at a university or college.
That's right. They're entry level.
They're entry level prices. Maybe they're not going to be the commander you retire in.
Yeah, that's right. But they will prove their worth.
Yeah.
Over that, and you'll be getting a bargain on them.
Yeah.
So something early is nice, and Artifact Mutation is a good one. Next, as far as token makers, great Goblin token maker is Beetleback Chief, 2 and 2 red. For a 2/2, just reprinted in Eternal Masters. It's when Beetleback Chief enters the battlefield, you put 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens on the battlefield. So this guy's a goblin himself. He's a 2/2. He'll put out 2 more. All of a sudden, you got 3. The turn before Ulash comes out, and then you go. You drop your Ulash, and you get a bunch of counters on him. Finally, we have. Oh wait, that's not mine.
Oh, did I do this wrong?
I
missed Night Soil.
You missed Night Soil. Okay, That's okay. Let's pull up Night Soil right now. Night Soil is an enchantment for 2 green. Oh, sorry, not for 2 green, for green, so for 2 greens. And it says pay 1 generic, exile 2 creature cards from a single graveyard, put a 1/1 green sapperling creature token onto the battlefield. This one's one that gives you sort of like value over the course of the game. It's not going to be great early, obviously. There's probably not going to be 2 creature cards on turn 2, for example. But this one gives you a lot of good value later in the game, especially obviously against a graveyard deck. This thing is really great. Yeah, paying 1 to exile 2 creature cards from one guy's graveyard. You can like if you've got a Phoenix player at your table, or if you've got any kind of thing that mills even just itself, Night Soil can be pay 1 for a green token and hose a graveyard. It's so good, so versatile for that. I love it. I love it as a token maker. Now, obviously, we got a lot of the classic Saproling makers and classic Goblin makers in here too, but those are just some of the ones I wanted to highlight for now.
Great. That Night Soul is great. I underestimate it. It should go on more decks.
Well, I should also mention that because I don't highlight them anywhere else in the show, but I do run a bunch of the fungus creatures.
Oh yeah.
That when you sacrifice, that get fungal counters on them, and then you can remove them to make Saprolings.
Yeah.
That ability's fine, but the really cool abilities on those are you can sacrifice Saprolings to get other bonuses,
right.
to gain life, to draw cards,
to
give your other Saprolings +1/+1, stuff like that. So it's really, really neat.
Synergistic. All right, next category is how to get Thromok through. We need to be able to attack with haste. This is one of my favorite ways to do it. In green and red, Fires of Yavimaya. Just a straight-up enchantment that says creatures you control have haste. And as an extra ability, you can sacrifice the Fires of Yavimaya to have target creature get +2/+2 until end of turn. We're probably not going to do that very often. That I can't imagine that might save us from any specific death or anything. Maybe from a block.
Yeah, especially since everyone's going to just know about it for sure.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But right. If you somehow are cast Thromok, attack him with haste. Once he's attacking, you can sacrifice this, and he will. You can't pull him out of combat that way. So, like, if those extra 2 points are the difference between killing a player or not, then for sure go for it.
Yeah,
no harm done.
Absolutely.
Cool. Let's talk about Reckless Bushwhacker.
Oh yeah.
This is sort of a functional reprint, sort of. They're going for Goblin Bushwhacker.
Yeah.
Basically, we're only going to cast it for Surge because we will have cast Thromok first, and then we Surge this guy for 1 in a red. He costs 2 in a red normally, but we hope to Surge him for 1 in a red. Haste, 2/1. When Reckless Bushwhacker enters the battlefield, if its Surge cost was paid, other creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn.
Nice.
So like we don't ever want to not Surge it, but that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, so 1 extra damage and haste, that's what we're talking about.
Beauty.
And let's get a little bit of trample going here. Gore Clan Rampager, an uncommon from Gatecrash. It's got trample, it's a 4/4, but we're never going to cast that as a creature. Very rarely. What we want to do is cast it for its Blood Rush ability. For red and green, you get to discard Gore Clan Rampager. Target attacking creature gets +4/+4 and gains trample until end of turn. Gore Clan Rampager, that is not casting a spell. That's an ability on the card. So this can't be counterspelled the traditional way. And I like the trick of, like, what if I just do Ulashed with... I guess it wouldn't be enough there. My hope is to, like, what if Ulashed is just not big enough to kill? They're like, okay, no problem. I'll chump block, right? Like, if they're like, oh, he doesn't have trample? Sure, I'll chump him with this guy. It's like, now he has trample. Too late.
Combat tricks are not run basically ever in EDH, right? So this essentially is a combat trick, right?
Yeah, it's basically surprise trample. Like, I want you to think he doesn't have trample.
Yeah.
So you chump, and then I'm like, oh, by the way, trample.
Here's trample.
25
Peace.
points go
You're
over.
done.
Peace.
It's over for you.
Peace on earth.
This one's over for you, bud.
You can rest in peace.
Yeah. So I love it. And then, like, I don't know. Do you ever see him? Do you ever see casting this guy as a 4/4? Probably not, eh?
Probably not. I don't know why I would ever cast him as a 4/4 for 4.
Okay, so let's take a look back at Ulash, the Hate Seed, and focus on that second ability where Ulash isn't going to be making us tokens. Instead, we'll be pinging damage around. And to really get the most out of that, we want to give Ulash Death Touch and things like that. So Nightshade Peddler is a great way to do that. It's 1 and a green for a 1/1. Has Soul Bond. We mentioned this one in the Marith episode also. As long as Nightshade Peddler is paired with another creature, both creatures have Death Touch. So the great thing about this is you can drop him before Ulash comes out. Don't pair him with anything, and then wait until you cast your Ulash, and then all of a sudden he'll count as a token for Ulash, as well as giving him Death Touch. Or rather a counter. He'll count as a counter for for Ulash, so that's a nice one. We also got some artifacts that'll give him Death Touch, which are nice. Another like sort of helping. This category is actually called Ulashed Helpers. But just a great board wipe we have here is Chandra's Ignition.
We got Chandra's Ignition.
Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. Ulash can get very big, especially in the late game when we've got a bunch of tokens out and maybe people aren't even super afraid of us because they've got their board set up nicely. But the Chandra Ignition comes in and takes care of that. Wipes out all your tokens too, but Ulash should be pretty big around that point.
Once we got our use out of them, right? Who cares?
Exactly. So Chandra Ignition is just becoming more and more of a commander staple, it seems like, in these red decks that can't get board wipes any other easy way.
Well, any creature that like forget board wipes, any commander that can just be enormous.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this is just you win.
And each opponent. I always forget it does it to opponents too.
Yeah,
That's
man,
great.
You're killing people.
Yeah, you could really kill people with this. Yeah, like think about like this is you got this in Throwmock, I'm guessing.
Heck yeah, I do.
Heck yeah.
So this costs 5. Throwmock costs 5. So yeah, man, if I can get him of 7 tokens, if I can drop 7 tokens before this happens, make him a 49/49, and then Chandra's Ignition him.
That's insane.
Hot and fresh out the kitchen.
Chandra's Ignition just sometimes wins the game for you with these commanders. Finally, we have Bow of Nylea, another big helper. This one is more on the Death Touch side as well, because Bow of Nylea is 1 and 2 green. It says attacking creatures you control have Death Touch. It's a legendary enchantment artifact, and it has the ability of 1 or green, tap it, choose 1, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, or Bow of Nylea deals 2 damage to target creature with flying, or you gain 3 life, or put up to 4 target creature cards from your graveyard on the bottom of your library in any order. Obviously, we like the Death Touch part of this. We like the putting +1/+1 counter on target creature because making Ulash bigger is always nice. And it can result in you just getting another token if you need it or another point of damage. But also these other modes can actually be helpful. Like if you're facing down Baleful Strix, you can't attack through that with your big commander. Well, Bow of Nylea kills it. If you're about to die, he can gain you 3 life. That one's the least relevant, probably.
Yeah.
But this last one, I've played games where people are trying to mill me, and Bow of Nylea saves you every time. It's great. I love it. So Bow of Nylea is just a very good card.
When's the last time you looked at the art on Bow of Nylea?
Oh, not super lately.
Okay, do you think that we are a person-sized person looking at a bow and quiver that is floating a few feet above us? Or are we looking into the night sky at a
gigantic
50-mile wide bow?
I think it's got to be a gigantic bow, right?
That is floating like hundreds of miles
like
up.
A lot
that's
of far,
miles
very
and miles
far away.
wide.
Yeah.
Because I guess Nylea would be huge.
Because I think in Nylea's picture, she's like really big over all the trees.
It's just a weird perspective thing to me. It's bugging me. It bugs me.
Well, let's take a look at Nylea real quick. The video portion of the podcast is coming in handy here. There she is, Nylea, God of the Hunt. Yeah,
So
look how big she is, and she's even holding it there in the picture.
But there, I'm going to nitpick this. She's far enough away that everything is kind of cloudy and misty.
Yeah.
But the bow and arrow from the bow are so crisp. It's like they're right in front of us. It really does seem like they're right there.
It is very crisp. It is right there.
They should have put
Maybe it's just a different. The weather is just different on this day. On the day they took this picture. Yeah.
Nylea, where's your bow and arrow? Oh, I left it.
I left it by the beach. Oh man.
Oh, me and Perforals were hanging out
hunting crabs. It's the Ryan the Hunter, right? He's getting chased. No, he's getting chased by a scorpion. Anyways, what's up for you?
So Throwmock gonna get huge. What helps when Throwmock gets huge? Warstorm Surge.
Oh yeah.
How many times does this enchantment come up?
It's
5 in
come
red.
Up so many more times.
5 in red. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. So, like I said, Throwmock can enter as a 49/49 fairly easily. So here I go. I enter as a 49/49. You're dead. And now I have haste, so I attack you with some trample. You're dead. Yep. Who's left? Oh, nobody. We win.
This happened to us in the Bruin Brawl. We had Warstorm Surge out, and we're like, okay, well, we're just going to cast our commander, and then we'll kill that person, and then we'll be able to just, because we had haste, will be able to attack the other guy.
Boom, you're dead. Boom, you're dead.
Boom, you're dead. Boom, you're dead.
Yeah.
Yep. It
Boom,
worked.
Boom, boom, you're dead, dead.
Warstorm Surge is consistently one of the best cards in Commander.
And I believe in the Bruin Brawl, someone cast a Reclamation Sage and did not target Warstorm Surge, which
They were being nice.
I assumed... Were they being nice, or did they make a mistake?
No, I think they were being nice, because what did they kill? They killed something like...
Like Triskelion or something.
Yeah. Maybe... Well, you know what? Triskelion can go off, can be a combo piece, right? So
That's true.
Maybe that is... Maybe that was the bigger threat.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway. Always kill Warstorm Surge.
Yeah, kill Warstorm Surge.
What about Mage Slayer?
Ooh.
It's an equipment, 1 red green for it's a sword, I guess. Doesn't matter though. It's just equipment. Like functionally, who cares what it looks like?
Yeah.
Could be a bag of sand. Whenever equipped creature attacks, it deals damage equal to its power to defending player. Equip 3. So you can't. Like, that doesn't count as commander damage. Like if you do 21 damage that way, that is not a kill. It has to be in combat specifically.
The mistake I made very early in my EDH playing days, I thought Mage Slayer was like, oh, wicked.
Yeah, but
it's still good.
Nonetheless, it's like, okay, maybe I don't have that trample. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to attack you with my 49/49, and you're just going to die from Mage Slayer before you can even declare blockers.
It's true, yeah. This is surprising to me that this card is over $1.
It does not surprise me.
It surprises me because it's an uncommon, though.
Oh. Well.
It's an uncommon from Alara Reborn and also in Plane Chase.
So good.
That is surprising to me. But, so yeah, if you want your Mage Slayers, I guess snap them up because they're getting over $1. That's surprising to me.
All right, and last one I want to talk about. I love this card. Oops, I left this one out, too.
Okay.
This is, go back, overlap the last one. Yeah, this is Soul's Fire.
Oh, right.
Soul's Fire is amazing. Basically, target creature Here, I'll read it. Target creature you control in play deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. The fact that it says in play, target creature you control in play, means you can't put the effect on the stack and then have your creature die. So if your creature leaves play before the ability resolves, the ability will not see a creature in play and it will be negated.
The oracled version is target creature you control on the battlefield deals damage. So if someone kills the creature in response, the Soul's Fire does nothing.
That's right. You can't just have it just automatically go. I made this mistake by trying to fling and Soul's Fire 2 players at the same time, but it doesn't work that way. But it's still amazing because, again, maybe I've got a 49/49. I can't get through to you. Or maybe I want to kill the other guy. No problem. I Soul's Fire you, you're dead, and now I attack the other guy. He dead.
Wow, and if you Warstorm Surge on the same turn?
Everybody dead.
Everybody dead, man.
Yeah.
These big Gruul commanders,
Gruul is fun.
It's funny because we're talking about Gruul tokens, and then we're talking about just humongous commanders, because there's a different take on these. Like, the tokens are making the one creature bigger, which usually you don't do. But these 2 commanders specifically work so well with that strategy. It's so fun.
Our tokens are completely expendable.
Completely expendable. But the great thing is they can also be a win condition, right?
Yep.
And that's what we're talking about next with Ulasht, the Hate Seed, because we got a card like Beastmaster Ascension in here. And this all of a sudden, this is your plan B. Or maybe this is your plan A and Ulasht is your plan B. Whatever you like, right? Beastmaster Ascension is a classic. We all know this one. 2 and a green for an enchantment that says, whenever a creature you control attacks, you can put a quest counter on it. And then as long as it has 7 or more quest counters, creatures you control get +5/+5. Another card that's over $1 despite numerous recent reprints. Zendikar originally, now it's in Commander, the last 2 Commander sets, but we're still seeing it over $1. So this is a very good token pumper, if you will.
The thing I love about this card is that you get the tokens after you declare attack. You get the quest counters after you declare attacks before blocks.
Yes.
So if you have, like, I will happily, like, maybe I've got only a few tokens. I'm like, well, I'll throw a couple of tokens away. Maybe one of them will die for sure, but I'll get 4 counters on it. Because now all I need to do is attack with 3 people, and they all get huge next time.
Right. So you can do that in 2 stages, or of course you can do the thing where you have 7 or more out already, drop Beastmaster Ascension and attack with everyone, and then they're getting pumped up. You got to be careful of that instant speed enchantment removal, which happened to be in when I was just testing this deck, and they killed it, and then I was like, wait, what happened? I was just supposed to win.
Yeah.
I didn't even see what happened. But
Yeah, because you're clicking too fast.
yeah, clicking too fast. I'm very patient when I play these games.
Man.
Another way to get your tokens is always classic overrun, 2 and 3 green. Creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample until end of turn. We always talk about the creature versions of this. We always talk about the the enchantment versions. We always talk about the different versions of overrun, and we refer to them as overrun abilities. But overrun, the original overrun is still a good card in EDH. It really is. It's only a one-shot deal, but sometimes that one-shot deal is all you need. And you might look at it and go, +3/+3, is that enough in Commander? It definitely can be, obviously depending on the number of creatures you have. And in this deck, it's not hard to have a lot of them out.
Right. You only need one shot if you hit them right between the eyes.
Oh, huge. This is not so much hitting them right between the eyes as much as it is hitting them with 100 arrows or bullets all over their body, right?
So you have 100 shots.
Yeah, it's like a shotgun that shoots 100 bullets out of it.
You have one shot of a shotgun, but that shotgun shoots.
You only
100
need one
bullets.
shot when the thing it shoots is a nuclear weapon.
Yes.
Right?
Okay, that's a better.
There you go.
Yeah.
And finally, a bit of a different one. Borborygmos, the original Borborygmos. He is 2 red and 2 green, so a big boy here, 7 mana, for a 6/7 with trample. And it says, whenever Borborygmos deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So you can kind of get in with this guy, put a bunch of counters on all your other guys, maybe on Ulash as well if you have them. And he counts as a double thing for Ulash because he's red and green. I don't know. Sometimes it's just fun to include these big smashy creatures because this is what Gruul wants to do, and Borborygmos is one of the iconic Gruul creatures.
Yeah, he's wearing a cinder block for crying out loud.
Is he?
He's just got a big block strapped to him.
Oh, no, wait. That's his hammer, isn't it?
Is that a hammer?
Yeah, he's holding like a huge hammer.
Oh, he is.
It would be funny if that was just strapped to his chest.
You know what? You just made my brain shift. My brain, up until now, thought his back arm was just out, and he had a brick strapped to his chest. But now I can see the hammer.
You can see the bit coming off of his, like, the thing he's holding on to coming out of the back of his hand, right? See that now?
My mind is more observant of the art now that we're doing a visual YouTube version.
Yes, for sure. Me too.
Sorry,
Even though we've always been
listeners.
looking at the art while we're doing the podcast, right?
I guess so, but it's a smaller screen. Now it's on a bigger screen
Yes.
for us.
Yeah, it is. Also, I mean, speaking of that, how big do you think Borborygmos is? Look at those scale people in the back. Are they really far away from him, or are they just on the ledge behind him?
They got to be on the ledge behind him,
Right? He's
a
just
6'7".
he's a 6'. He's a monster, right?
Yeah.
He's gigantic.
Yeah.
Huge cyclops, right? Oh, here's something I always like to mention. Borborygmos. Borborygmos, right? Borborygmos, the with a U, is a real word, and it means the rumbling in your stomach.
Huh.
Because you have gas sometimes, so it's a bit of a farty word.
Oh, because you only eat salt and vinegar chips primarily?
Are
I'm
you-
talking about me.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I was
talking
gonna say
about
you're taking a stab at me here.
No, no. No, that was a reflection on my own.
I guess that just revealed a lot about both of us, though.
Yeah.
That could apply to either of us. Okay, so those are the 2 decks. Straightforward stuff. A lot of tokens. A lot of smashing. That's what Gruul does.
And it is a blast.
It is so fun.
I forgot how fun Gruul was to just smash the face.
Yes. When we were doing the Brew and Brawl, a lot of people were mentioning Xenagod,
Yep.
the Xenagos god version as something they wanted to see, and that's the one I feel like everyone talks about.
Yeah, well, because he's like a machine gun, right? So basically, you have him and everything. For those of you who don't know, the Xenagod, to brew around him, basically any creature gets double its power and toughness and trample. So it's basically like, yeah, I'm gonna destroy someone every turn. But Xenagod doesn't usually do one-hit kills. Usually, it's like, I'm going to hit you for 15 and 16. I'm going to hit you for 20. So, like...
I think depending on who you have, he can definitely do one-hit kills.
He can, but, like, what I like about these is they take a little bit more finesse, right? You do a little bit of setup, and then you're like, and now I'm ready. You're dead. It's like, it's more... This is more fun to me than
where Xenagod is like, drop a creature, smash. Drop a creature, smash. These ones are like, set it up, hold, and then smash.
Yeah,
right?
man, I want to kill everybody at once.
Okay, so if those are the if that's what the deck is based around, what are the 3 stars? What are the cards that really shine in the deck?
Okay, so I'm going to go in reverse here. I think I'm starting with the number 1 star, or we'll go back. Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
And you go that way one for the other. Brawn and Anger. They're both very similar. Brawn does trample, Anger does haste. Basically, there are a couple of creatures that if they are in your graveyard and you control a forest and or mountain, Anger's the red one, creatures you control have trample with Brawn, haste with Anger. These guys made the 3rd star of the deck as a team because if you think about it, you get to devour creatures before you do this. So if you have Brawn and Anger, or either one is great, on the battlefield, you devour both of them. They go to your graveyard. Now Throwmuck has trample and haste.
It is worth noting, and I always forget this on both of these creatures, that for Brawn is a 4-mana 3/3, Anger is a 4-mana 2/2. They both need their respective lands to be also on the battlefield. So
yes.
You also need to control a forest for Brawn, and you need to control a mountain for Anger.
Which sometimes, in a 2-color deck, you probably always will.
Like 98% of the time, I feel like you're going to be fine.
But in 3-color decks, there are definitely moments where I'm like, oh, wait a minute. All my red mana comes from like specialty sources or double lands. I don't have any mountains. So, yeah, just be careful.
Yep. Be careful. Be aware of that. But I love Anger, the Angry Baby.
Angry Baby.
The Angry Baby version is my favorite one.
Yes, for sure. And then I want to talk about Wart the Raid Mother. Number 2 star of the deck for Hybrid Gruul, so 6 mana total. When Wart the Raid Mother comes into play, put 2 1/1 red and green Goblin Warrior creature tokens into play. That's great right there.
Oh, yeah.
So you can already get extra on the way to Throwmuck.
Mm-hmm.
But then each red or green instant or sorcery spell that you play has Conspire. That is to say, you can tap 2 creatures that share a color with that instant or sorcery and then copy it. I've got a lot of useful cards in here that I'm going to want to copy. I don't have any like crazy game-winning spells, but that's just solid utility. All those ramp green spells, copy them.
Mm-hmm.
No problem. All those little like red, I've got a lot of red spells that generate 3 goblins, for example, or 4 goblins. I'll copy that to get 8 goblins or 6 goblins. No
Certainly.
problem.
Yeah. I could have easily included Ward on my 3 stars also. I didn't, but look at this card for Ulashed. She's a green-red creature.
Oh.
She makes 2 more green-red creatures. Then she allows the conspiring of the token-making spells. Like, she's so good.
So good.
If you have Ward out and the 2 tokens she makes before you cast Ulash, that's 6 counters on Ulash alone, just from her.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's great. Number 1 star of the deck, Krenko Mob Boss. He's our favorite goblin leader. 2 red, legendary goblin warrior, 3/3. Tap him. No mana cost. You just got to tap the guy. Put X 1/1 red goblin creature tokens onto the battlefield, where X is the number of goblins you control.
Yeah, this guy is an all-star.
Yeah, and like I'm going to tell you, because I run a few haste effects, he will usually hit the battlefield with haste. So right away I can be like, okay, 4 for Krenko, and then I'll tap him right away and get another bunch of goblins.
Yeah, he's one of the reasons I decided to split the like kind of tribal part of my deck down between goblins and saprolings, because Krenko is that good. You want to warp your deck to build around him. Tap to put the X goblin creature tokens on the battlefield, where X is the number of goblins you control. That just doubles. That's exponential. It's crazy.
Well, and let's not forget, right? So let's say he goes around the table and the table has let him live, which is a mistake.
That's a mistake.
If the table has let him live, and maybe they're like, oh, he only has 3 goblins, including Krenko, so that's not too bad. I'm not too afraid of that. So then, let's say Andy's to my right, and at his end step, I tap Krenko, and now I go to 6 goblins. I untap. I tap Krenko on my turn. Mm-hmm. Now I have 12 goblins. Now I cast Throwmock, and I've got 12 goblins to sack, so I can easily make them as big as I need to from 3. From 3,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why it's a mistake. You can't let this guy live.
Don't let this guy live. Don't let Warstorm Surge live.
Don't let this guy live. Krenko with Warstorm Surge is bonkers.
Bonkety bonks.
You've made a real mistake if you've got 2 of those out at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look at my 3 stars. Here we go. So 3rd star of the deck, just a great token maker. One that you don't hear about a lot, I think, but is just an excellent card that got printed in the Commander 2014 set. Sylvan Offering. It's X and green, and it says choose an opponent. You and that player each put an XX green Treefolk creature token onto the battlefield. So you pay 4. You pay 5 total. So 4x. You get a 4/4. Choose an opponent. You and that player each put X/1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens onto the battlefield. So this is breaking my Saproling rule a little bit, but Sylvan Offering is so good that it's really worth it to do it. Because as we talked about, I think it was in the Mizzix episode, any X and like 1 red or 1 green or whatever it is, any X spell like that creates tokens is so good. And the fact that you're going to give one of your opponents that many tokens as well, you just give it to the person who can't use them as well. Same thing with the big guy. You just give it to the person who's least set up to actually use it. Plus, this is actually a great political card. You can give it to the person who's most set up to use it and make friends with them. Or this is also great if one guy's dominating the table and you and 2 other of your opponents need to protect yourselves so you can beat that person. Well, guess what? Sylvan Offering helps 3 people at once. So I love this card.
I also love the idea of giving everything to the player you're about to kill.
Yes, that's
like,
right.
I'm about to kill you with a Warstorm Surge.
Yeah. So here's everything.
You can have them all.
Good call. So you can mitigate the quote damage you might receive from a Sylvan Offering, but it's just got so many different modes of play and ways you can play it and different parts of the game that make it worth it.
Do you run Ashnod's Altar?
No, I don't think I put Ashnod's Altar in this one, although I definitely should have.
Because I would sack every single one of my tokens for X to just get a billion more.
Even more, yeah, exactly. So Sylvan Offering is a great card, and I haven't really heard about it much since those decks have been released. Second star, we talked about it a lot. Warstorm Surge.
Warstorm Surge.
Warstorm Surge, 6 mana, 5 and a red. Obviously, when a creature comes into play, it deals that much damage to target creature or player. Just there's not much more to say about it. We already talked about it a lot. It's so great. It's fantastic. It almost belongs in like every red commander deck, I think.
Yeah.
Almost. There's probably a few exceptions. And number 1, again, already talked about it. Krenko Mob Boss. He's that good. He's number 1 on both of our lists here. And this is a card that we've said multiple times. If you can get one, if you don't have one, get it now. Because like, when are they going to reprint Krenko? When are they going to reprint this legendary creature that in this version? Like, I feel like if they're going to, because he lives on Ravnica, right? Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, because it says the flavor text is from an Azorius guy talking about him. So he's a Ravnica creature. So if they go back to Ravnica, which won't be for a while, I feel like they're going to print a new version of him if they print him at all. So the only way you're going to get this guy is in like a reprint set. So like maybe you see him in like a Conspiracy or something like that.
Or like a Modern Masters-y kind of thing.
Yeah, but those cards in those sets tend to have this thing where they like it doesn't fully affect the price as much. And Krenko's a big EDH card. I feel like we've said it a lot. We'll say it again. Grab him if you want one.
Grabby
dabby. Yes, that's right. That's what I meant. Yeah. So, those are the 3 stars. Those are the ones that really get us going. What do you got there?
If there are any surprises or discoveries for these decks, I didn't really have any big surprises. Second Harvest is too new. It's not a surprise, but I just want to re-mention it for us all to let's just remember that it's out there. Sometimes new cards happen and we forget about them because we're just not thinking about them. But like Second Harvest, if you're running tokens, remember that it's out there.
I have one that I'm just going to quickly improvise with here.
You're going to make up a card? You're going to improvise
I'm just going to make up a card and see
if
it
2 green.
Good. Yeah.
Put 5 1/1 Saplings onto the battlefield.
No, here it is. Namata Grove Guardian. She's I guess it's a she. Anyways, it's a legendary tree folk, and it's a 4/5 for 4 and 2 green. 2 and a green, put a 1/1 Saproling creature into play, and then sacrifice a Saproling. All Saprolings get +1/+1. This ability is like, it might not sound like that much, but when you have a lot of Saprolings out, sacrificing them at will to make them all pumped up is so good. And it really throws people's math off, because it's like, okay, well then I'll block this way, this way, this way, and then you're like, okay, well then I'll sacrifice this other one now, and now they're all bigger. Like, it messes with the combat math so much when you're swinging in and people want to make advantageous blocks that sometimes people don't even think about it, and they'll just be like, okay, well, I'll just block them all. because they're all 2/2s now or something. It's like, well, now they're all like, I'll sacrifice 2 of them. Now they're all 4/4s, and people are like, oh yeah.
There is, I don't know it, but there's got to be a math equation that tells you the optimal one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Right? Like if I got 8,
it depends on how many blockers your opponent has, obviously, but yeah.
I'm just thinking by math. Like, so if I got 5 saplings, I can do 5 damage, or I can do 8 damage among 4 of them, or I can do 9 damage among 3 of them, or I can go back down to 8 damage among 2 of them.
Yeah, there you go.
Or back down to 5. Yeah, so it's like a little hill. The one in the middle is your best one.
One in the middle is where you want to be.
Yeah, that's your most.
So Namada's a great card for those Saproling tribal style decks, obviously. Yeah, just thought I'd mention her for this one because it was a card I never heard of, but is very effective, very good card. So now, before we get to the big budget report, we're going to talk a little bit about Wizards Tower, wizardstower.com, our sponsor. Bella had something to say about it. She loves that.
Bella loves Wizard Tower.
Bella loves Wizard Tower. Of course, they have their U.S. site is up and running right now. Just go to wizardtower.com and change the little flag on the top, whether you're in Canada, whether you're in the States. They now ship free shipping within each country, $15 or more in Canada, $10 or more in the States. I'm not sure. I don't think they have sealed product in the States just yet, but it's coming soon for sure. You can pre-order all your Eldritch Moon stuff right now, your sealed product in Canada. And they're always running events. If you're in the Ottawa area, go check it out. Go into the store. There's a preliminary Pro Tour qualifier.
Pro Tour Honolulu.
Ooh, sealed. And it's a sealed event.
You want to get to that one.
July 2nd out there in Ottawa. Check it out. And of course, you can order all your singles from Shadows over Innistrad if you're looking to get into Standard, or if you're looking to beef up some of your EDH decks with some of the current set or some older stuff too. Get on there. wizardtower.com. And they're so great. They're so nice to us. They gave us the Packs of Eternal Masters that we gave out.
Yep.
And of course, we've been having giveaways since they joined us. They're so great. All right, so let's get to the budget report.
This is where we take all of the cards, we turn them into seeds, and see which ones Ulash hates.
Okay, I like this one.
The ones he likes are the ones that make the report.
What do you think the hate seed, like what's his thing? Like,
I think he is a seed.
He is a seed, right? Because he's like a plant.
Yeah, but
seems like he's like a plant hydra. One of the
yeah. So you know how you're supposed to talk to plants to make them like grow better. I
Yeah.
think he was only spoken to as hate.
No one talked to
Like
him.
People just yelled at him like, "Hey, grow! Hey, friggin' plant!
You better grow, you plant!
Stupid plant! What do you want, some sun?
You gotta have tentacles." He's like Audrey 2, but way worse.
Yeah, like Audrey 3.
He's Audrey 3.
Yeah.
Ulash the hate seed.
Ulash.
That's great. I bet you there's been that altered art before.
Oh yeah,
where
for
someone
sure.
drew Audrey 2 on him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So budget report for
my deck, the
Sean here.
Thromok came in at $47.82.
Not bad.
Most expensive card for sure, Krenko.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anymore. We've talked about him a ton. He's almost $5. He's $4.50. Almost $5. Almost at our budget maximum.
Yeah.
I fought really hard to keep him on the deck. I had to make a lot of other cuts because I really wanted him that badly.
Right on.
Second most expensive card, Dragon Lair Spider. That's because this is the one that makes a token every time an opponent casts a spell. On any turn, not even on your turn. And that's because it wasn't printed much. It was in Plane Chase and Commander's Arsenal. So I think if they ever reprint this, it'll drop a ton. But right now it's almost $4, but well worth it.
This is one that would be great to reprint in the new Conspiracy set.
Oh, that would be
it's
great.
Obviously built for a multiplayer game.
Fingers crossed.
That'd be so good.
You heard it here first, folks. And then the third most expensive card is Anger. Angry Baby. For sure. For Anger is a keep. Anger is about, you can get a copy for just under $3. I say keep.
Yeah, Anger's a real staple. Anger's a real must-have. It's works well in so many different decks. It's a free blocker when you need it. You can sack it to get in the graveyard. Yeah,
well, and it's not just a free blocker; it's a deterrent, right? Because people are like, well,
I
don't want you to be able to block with Anger and put them in the graveyard, so I'm not going to attack you.
Yeah,
because for sure you're going to take advantage of that.
Okay, so my budget, I'm actually a little over budget.
By how many gumballs?
By 4 gumballs. By less than 4 gumballs.
Okay,
it's not quite $1.
Well, then you have to go a day without chewing gumballs.
Well, all right. Well, that's the punishment. I guess it fits the crime. So we're still like within, when you look at it, you see, 50. But it's like when you're buying something and they trick you with $50.99 or whatever.
Yeah.
Number one most expensive card, Krenko as well, with me. Same thing, $5. Very much worth it, though. Fought hard to keep him in the deck. Went a little over budget because of him. Second most expensive card is MacLeod, which is one of the best token makers. And, I mean, you've got the Devour thing going on with Thromach. Well, it doesn't hurt with Ulash to cast MacLeod and eat a bunch of tokens with him.
Don't hurt.
3 mana, 3 generic and 2 green for a 4/4. He has Devour 2 at the beginning of your upkeep. Put a 1/1 green Saproling creature token onto the battlefield for each 1/1 counter with MacLeod. MacLeod is one of the reasons I went with the Saproling sub theme. So he's about what? He's like 3 in a gumball. I think he's well worth it.
3 in a gum.
3 in a gum. He's not a lot of print. I mean, he's been printed 3 times, and each version is slightly more expensive than the most recent one. But this is one they look like they're happy to print in commander sets when tokens are involved. So, $3 is a nice, decent price for this card. And finally, a weird one. One I should have put this one in the Discovery section because I'd never heard of this card before. But it's Saproling Symbiosis. It's from Invasion. It's rare. It's 3 and a green for a sorcery. And the Oracle text is, you may cast Saproling Symbiosis as though it had flash if you pay 2 generic more to cast it. It's a 4-mana spell, but you can cast it at instant speed for 6, which is kind of fun.
I love that.
And it says, put a 1/1 green Saproling creature token onto the battlefield for each creature you control. So it's very similar to Second Harvest, except that you get specifically Saprolings for every creature you control. So if we have a lot of goblins and Saprolings, we'll get even more Saprolings. So it's really great.
A lot of gobs.
And the instant speed ability just makes it really fun. So you can hold your mana up, do this on someone's end step, then you have a lot for Ulash to come in, or you can do it as a surprise blocking thing and really mess up someone's attack step. So
yeah,
Symbiosis, it's just under $3 right now, and I'm not sure it's worth that because, like we mentioned earlier, sometimes this card is just nothing. If it's right after a board wipe, this card does nothing. Like if you hate a board wipe if you have this card in your hand. So I just have the Second Harvest instead. I'd probably switch these two. But Symbiosis is definitely a good card in the deck, and if you can make it work, make it work. Yeah, there we go. So that's it.
Wow. Gruul Tokens. What a fun strategy. And these are like, I feel like, yeah. I don't think when I think of Gruul, I think of just giant beaters like Xenagod, but this is a fun way to go.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's funny that the two things Gruul does really well are like smashing with huge creatures and making as many tiny ones as possible.
Right.
Like those are the two things it does.
How come nobody complains about Gruul like they complain about Boros?
Because, I think because green gives that color pairing a lot of flexibility. Like green has answers. I guess white has a lot of answers to stuff too.
Like people don't like Boros because their commanders always tell you to just attack and attack and
just
attack.
Be
and
aggressive.
attack.
Be aggressive. Yeah. I guess like if you look at what we've done here today, I guess there's like maybe it's the setup part of it that people are more okay with, like the token aspect. Although you could easily do a red white token strategy too. There's nothing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Those are great token colors.
Maybe there's not the ideal commander for that.
You know what? This is a great question. Like, what other Gruul commanders are out there that are not like, hey, just attack and kill people with me? Like, is there? You know what? I think the presence of something like Borborygmos Enraged or Omnath, the Angry Omnath, those two are strategies where it's like, okay, no, make your tokens, but it's a landfall thing, or we can, you can switch now to using lands as weapons. Like, there's a little bit more of a, just more. It's a different strategy, I guess.
People just want to do something different.
Yeah,
they're just tired of just the combat step.
And ultimately, I guess a lot of it does affect the combat step, like something like Mina and Den, which like is like a landfall commander. But it's all just going to affect all the landfall creatures, which are either going to like make tokens or make themselves larger, or draw you cards, which let you do that sort of stuff, I guess. Also, green can draw cards. That's one thing that red and white they struggle with, and green is actually a pretty good card draw color because of the either they have large creatures that it can be based on, or the many creatures.
Yeah.
Based on.
Okay. I don't know. I just hear like nothing but hate for Boros, but
Yeah.
like no one ever talks about Gruul.
True. And I think you're right, but I think those little exceptions make it so that you can actually do different stuff with it.
Okay, so then I think we solved Boros. Just add those things in there. And
well,
you're
I
done.
think that's what people have been saying for a long time. Is like, hey, make a Boros commander that allows me to do anything else.
Yeah.
Allows me to just not focus on just the combat step.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
They could easily make a red white like really controlling commander, right?
That would be awesome.
Red is about damage and damage to creatures, damage to face. White exiles creatures and stuff, and is walls. Like, it always made me. I always wonder like why was red never? They print like Wall of Flame and like that kind of stuff, but that card is so not red. It seems like, right? Because it's a defender. But does the nature of red mean it always wants to attack? It's emotional and impulsive and stuff like that. But can't you have that mean other things too? I don't know.
Anyway,
these are questions for Mark Rosewater.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark. We know you listen. Don't try and tell us you don't.
Don't try and tell us you don't. When I call you 100 times a day and I get your answer machine, I know you listen.
I almost met Mark Rosewater. We were in a Geek and Sundry like really weird like magic tournament thing at San Diego Comic-Con a few years ago, and I was like, "Ooh, that's Mark." I was like, "Whoa, Mark Rosewater's here." I was like, "Should I go say hi to him?" And then so many people were going up to him and taking pictures with him and stuff, and I was like, "No, I'm just gonna hang out. I'm fine.
Yeah,
I don't like doing that.
That's all right.
Yeah, I don't like doing that sort of thing.
No objection.
Yeah, but it was neat though. It was neat seeing him, and he played in the tournament with people. And the tournament was so lame though. It was like we had to play with like the intro packs. We all thought it was going to be a draft. So me and some of the other Space Janners guys, me and Brennan and Maura went down there and played. And like I was like, oh, these are just intro packs. Like,
we already know how to use these.
I don't like that. But we did get a few packs to open as well. Obviously, they come in there. But that's the episode. There it is. That's the Gruul Tokens episode.
Let's put it to bed.
Put it to bed. Put it to rest.
Check out these decks on tappedout.net/users/commandersbrew.
Yeah, feel free to tweet at us suggestions. We haven't.
We get suggestions once in a while,
Yeah.
but we don't often acknowledge them, and I apologize for that. We always think about them, and they go into the vault.
They certainly do. We do. We actually have a document where we've kept a lot of them.
Yeah.
And we've done a lot of episodes that were Twitter suggestions from listeners.
We have.
That's also a patron thing.
Yes.
Where we have a Patreon, so if you feel like supporting the show that way, you certainly can, and you can suggest episodes that way as well.
Yeah, we just sent out our badly altered art.
That's right.
Cards.
And our friend and listener Matt Childs just tweeted about it too. He tweeted the picture of it.
Yeah.
We altered. Was it a Scion of the? What's it called? Scion of the Wilds or something?
Yes. He's holding two ice cream cones. Check it out. It's pretty funny.
That was one of the ones I did the art on. Sean did a great one where the guy's drinking a Coca-Cola. I can't remember which card that was though.
Corpse churn. Yeah. It's basically because we're not artists, but we're gonna to all of our donors of a certain level, we're gonna send a thank you card as a card with hilarious altars on it.
That's right, and of course there's lots of other stuff. You can go there and check that out. Check us out on Patreon.
Check it out.
And yeah, otherwise get at us on Twitter. I'm Andy at Andy Hullbone.
I'm at Sean Tabaris.
And we're at Commanders Brew together. And you can write us an email, also commandersbrew@gmail.com. Okay. Stick around for the Commanders interview. We'll be back next week. Otherwise, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Commander's Brew Commander interview. Unfortunately, Andy could not be with us. He went across the street to help some guys renovate their porch. But I do have the honor of having with us Ulasht the Hateseed. Thank you for coming to the podcast.
What a pleasure it is to be here, Sean. This is great,
Oh, wow. I'm glad to hear. You know what? We work really hard. We value our guests so much, and I want you to have a good experience here. I want to make sure you're comfortable. You have everything you need.
Yes, I have everything I need. Lovely studio you have set up here, but I do hate it, though.
What did he?
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be on the show. It's a pleasure, but I do hate it.
I didn't do anything. Why
no,
would
you didn't. And you know what? You're a fantastic host. And you've got a fantastic premise here for the show. And you guys, all the audio production is so great, but I do hate it.
But there's no. Hang on. I'm sorry to laugh, but there's no
That's
reason
okay.
to
I hate that you're laughing at
There's
this.
no reason
This
to
is something
hate
that's very serious to me. I hate that you're laughing.
Okay, but Ulash, there's no reason to hate all the everything you've said means you should love these things.
Oh, it's such a that's what people say to me all the time. There's no reason to hate it. Who needs a reason? I hate that people say that. I hate that. I hate that there's no reason, but I do hate it.
Okay, well that makes that detail makes a bit more sense because that's like people telling you how to feel, and that can be annoying, sure. But
people hate that.
Okay, but surely what about birthdays? Surely you love birthdays.
Oh,
right?
birthdays. When everyone comes together to celebrate the day you were born.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Your birth date. I hate it.
Why do you
I
hate it, though?
birthdays. And I don't think I'm the only one that says that. Am I right?
That's true. That's
People
true.
growing a day older, whether you're a Hydra or a human or some sort of Cyclops man, you hate it.
Yes, I do know people who hate birthdays. Yes,
I hate birthdays.
Okay, good
I hate
question.
cake. I hate hot dogs.
Okay, wait a minute. Chocolate?
Chocolate hot dogs or just chocolate?
First let's talk about chocolate hot dogs. That's great. That's a great
hate
idea.
It. Sounds gross. Why
Sounds
would I want to mix
delicious.
meat and chocolate?
Okay, but Ulash, aren't you worried that you will miss out on many life opportunities by not trying new things because you hate them?
Oh, please. I try everything. I try everything once. I'll try anything. I will just then inevitably hate it afterwards because it's garbage and it's terrible. And everything is terrible and everything is garbage.
Ulash, I feel sad for you. This is not
listen.
a good...
I am a very adventurous person. I'm very impulsive. I'm spontaneous, right? But I hate everything because guess what? It's hard being a Hydra.
Oh,
It's hard
no
being a
doubt.
snake plant thing. Bottom line.
Yeah, that's probably
You're gonna hate a lot of
true.
stuff if you're like me.
But what about there's other Hydras who I don't think hate everything.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying they have to hate everything. I'm just saying it's difficult. And my reaction has been, oh, great. Let's go to the amusement park. I'll sit on this roller coaster. Guess what? Hate it. Okay. Oh, sure. Oh, Disney World. Oh, there's Donald Duck. I'll talk to him. Hate his voice. Right?
That is an annoying
terrible voice.
Yes,
Can't understand a thing he says.
No.
It's mostly gibberish. This film, Harry Potter. Oh, how fun. A boy from under the stairs grows up to become a great wizard. Hate it.
What do you hate about it?
I don't like wizards. I hate wizards. They're terrible.
Oh yeah, they're blue.
They're
mostly
blue. How dare.
How dare.
How dare.
Okay. I'm determined to find something that you like. I'm going to name a bunch of things, and then
Okay.
I want you to know how you feel about them.
Let's do a rapid fire thing here where you say things. I already hate this idea, but let's do it.
Well, thank you for being adventurous and trying it anyway.
I hate that you're thanking me, but anyways, let's do it.
Okay. Summer days.
I hate summer days. Too hot, make me grow too fast. I'm a plant.
Cool glass of water.
Hate cool water. Need it room temperature. Makes
Okay.
me think of polar vortexes,
Okay.
which I hate.
Okay. Home cooked meal.
A home cooked meal. Hatred for a home cooked meal.
Okay.
Too much time spent. Too hot to slave over a stove.
The Marvel movie series.
Oh, I hate them. Too sprawling.
Mark Rosewater.
I hate Mark Rosewater. His devotion to the color pie. It's awful. Let me do something else. Why must I be based on damage and tokens?
Okay. One more, okay?
Okay, one more.
Ulashed.
Ooh. Ulashed? You mean me?
Yes.
Why, no one's ever asked me that before. I guess in some ways I hate myself.
That's okay, Ulashed. Here, bring it in, buddy. Bring it in. Here you go. Let's hug it out.
I hate myself.
No, it's okay, Ulashed.
Oh,
It's
I hate
okay,
that I
Will.
hate myself. I hate that. Why do I hate myself? I hate it.
I think we made a breakthrough, folks. See you next time.